day whatever it is, but we're here, and the news continues to be, I think, encouraging. This is global. Um, Global numbers. We have one significant move here is that Russia has moved into the top 20, passing Australia, Norway, and Sweden. We've got some globally here. We'll come over and take a look at. Remember, this is going to be one day less data than what I'll show you on the other one for just the U.S. But globally, we're 4 days since the peak. 2 days of decline, a little bump up day before yesterday, and when we get tomorrow's number will be added to this. It's already available on the other, but for the U.S. anyway, there'll be a little blip up. But this is global, which looks good that the peak for the world might have been on April 3rd. Come over and look at the U.S. The peak hopefully was also April 3rd, and if that's the case, 10 days from now we should be looking at daily numbers way down here. We had 3 days below that. These two were essentially tied. The data for yesterday, which is already available on this other site, will show that we blipped up a little bit to about here, but not as high as the peak. So I'm hopeful that 10 days from now, actually Easter Monday, it will be way down to a much smaller number of daily reports. Where was Russia? Still struggling. They were here. So there's continue to have increases. Mexico as well, and Denmark is continuing to struggle with that. But Iran looks good. Germany, Italy, Spain are all on the good decline. Where was Italy? Even though their numbers are big, they certainly look like they're on, for many days, on the downward slope of that curve, and Spain as well, with down, roughly at 60% of what their peak was. Now, what bothered me a little bit was this daily new cases for the U.S. So this is one more day's worth of data than the previous one, and that shows that yesterday for the U.S. we spiked back up to 33,000 new cases. So that's less than the peak on April 3rd, and hopefully we won't get anything back up to that with declines on the previous days. So I'm hopeful. Again, still optimistic about that. And I think I'm really surprised by all the talk about, does the hydroxychloroquine work? There's no data. Crazy to try it. This is a well-controlled trial of people randomly assigned to each one, and let me find it, 80% of people on the drug did not progress to pneumonia or had improved pneumonia versus 54%. The only people that went to severe illness were the ones not getting the drug. And the time to total recovery, body temperature improvement, all were shortened by 1 to 2 days. If you have this and your doctor doesn't present this as an option to you, would be criminal. If you were given the choice to go on this, I think it would be foolish not to. There's this data. There's the one from the French doctor just showing that, also that one's not a randomized trial, but showing that none of the ones on the drug progressed to pneumonia ICU. So hang in there, everybody. This is, we're on a downward slope.